In the last election, Mr. Chair, I was consistently number 22 in the surveys. Kahit anong survey. SWS, Pulse Asia, kung ano-ano pa. Minsan 32 pa nga eh. Katapos nung malapit-lapit na may naawa yata sa akin, bigla akong miraculously napunta sa 12. But that was short-lived. After 3 days, napunta na naman ako sa 22. Ba't nawala si Senator Sherwin? Senator Sherwin, siya yung consistent na. Hindi si... Sorry, Senator Erwin pala. Siya yung consistent eh. Alam naman ninyo yun, di ba? Paano nangyari yun? Chairman, your fiscal year 2026 proposed budget is only 11.8 billion pesos.
That's right, Mr. Chair.
This is considered a pittance compared with your 35.5 billion this year.
Yung pong total, Mr. Chair, ng preparatory national and local election at saka po yung national and local election
Hindi, wala pa akong
2024.
tinatanong sa iyo eh. Sinasabi ko pa lang.
35 po. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kino-compare ko pa lang. Masyadong malayo, di ba? It's about a reduction of 67%.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Bakit gano'n? Bakit hindi kayo nag-complain? It might affect your effectiveness in conducting the BSKA election next year. Remember?
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Tama po kayo, yung pong 35 billion, yun yung preparatory national and local election at saka yung national and local election na 23 billion plus more or less po 14 billion, yung po yung budget talaga ng 2025. Ngayon po, Mr. Chair, ang hiningi po talaga namin for 2026 ay 18 billion. Subalit, nabawasan po kami, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, ng 6.220 billion pesos. Ngayon po, yung po sana yung aming ipapakiusap na maibalik. Kaya lang po, Mr. Chair, biglang pumasok po yung paglagda ng ating Pangulo ng resetting ng barangay and SK election. So we were torn between whether to push for the return of the 6.220 or yung ihihingi po namin ay yung dagdag para sa BSKE. Alam po namin, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, hindi po pwede namin makuha parehas. And therefore, yung po kasing 6.220, kasama po sana yung sa preparasyon para sa 2028 elections. Pero since mauuna po, Mr. Chair, ay barangay and SK, we will just settle to push for the additional budget for the barangay and SK po by next year.
Kinakabahan lang ako dahil masyadong malaki yung nawala sa inyo. Di ba merong kasabihan yung mga American Indians? If you want to hit the target, you have to set your aim a little bit higher than the target. Sana ginawa man lang 20 para kapag kahit na ibaba yun, di naging 18 pa rin, di walang nabawa sa'yo.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Next time, ganun ang kailangan maging para kang businessman, hindi ba?
Mr. Chair, ano po, alam po din namin sa COMELEC talaga na napakaliit ng fiscal space. So we would like to help din the national government and would like to emphasize really in this committee po, habang lumalaon po nagmamahal ang demokrasya ng Pilipinas. Talaga po habang tumataas ang bilang ng mga botante, talagang tumataas po yung gastos natin, Mr. Chair.
Oo nga. And then in Mr. Chair, dito sa regional distribution ninyo, napansin ko lang yung SOCSERGEN, 241.8 million in 2024. Then it dropped to only 89.7 million in 2025. The smallest share nationwide. Pero 2026, bigla na naman siyang lumundag sa 264 million. So from being the lowest, bakit pa ganun-ganun? What is the criteria in justifying this very, very erratic calculations.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Usually po based sa registered number of registered voters. Number two po based po dun sa staff contingent. Yan po naka-reflect po na amount na yan ay more on the operation side ng commission. Like for example, Mr. Chair, ilan po yung aming election officer, ilan po yung aming election assistant, ilan po yung mga yung pong gastos like for example bayad sa kuryente, supplies, etc. So yan po yun, Mr. Chair. And usually po, hindi pa napifilapan yung ibang positions na nagre-retire kasi po nag-freeze po muna kami ng aming pong hiring dahil sa election but we will resume. So yun po yung kalimitan nagbabago dahil po doon sa pagbabago rin sa operation side, Mr. Chair. If I may, samantalahin ko po, Mr. Chair, yung pagkakataon na to na supposedly po ang aming pong dapat na proportion, one election assistant per 25,000 voters. Kaya lang po, Mr. Chair, sa kasalukuyan, nangihingi po kami ng dagdag sana na 800 election assistants nationwide sapagkat meron na po kami katulad sa Rizal. Almost 300,000 ang botante sa Antipolo at sa Taytay. Mr. Chair, dalawa lang din ang election assistants namin. So, yun po, mas malaki ng konti ang magiging budget kasi dahil sa population, pero hindi po kami makapag-hire kasi wala pong creation ng opisina. So yun po yung kadahilanan, Mr. Chair, ng mga pagbabago ng amount.
Thank you for that answer. Last question, Mr. Chair. In the last election, Mr. Chair, I was consistently number 22 in the surveys. Kahit anong survey. SWS, Pulse Asia, kung ano-ano pa. Minsan 32 pa nga eh. Katapos nung malapit-lapit na may naawa yata sa akin, bigla akong miraculously napunta sa 12. But that was short-lived. After 3 days, napunta na naman ako sa 22. Ba't nawala si Senator Sherwin? Senator Sherwin, siya inconsistent na hindi sorry, Senator Erwin pala. Siya yung consistent eh. Alam naman ninyo yun, di ba? Paano nangyari yun? Ang pagitan lang naman pala namin, number 6 ka, number 4 si Senator Erwin. Sa mga tweet, I will have the basis now to tell na hindi reliable ang surveys. Nakakapagbigay nga ng mindset which is not good for the electorate. Masyadong malayo eh. Sana man lang kung nasa number 11 ako. Pero in 22, consistently, in the last 6 months, pwede naman silang mag-survey, Mr. Chairman. I think they will do well in surveying kung ano-ano yung mga produkto natin na magkukumpara halimbawa para sa ating consumers. And our people will profit immensely from that. Halimbawa, SWS and Pulse Asia. Ano ang pinakamasarap na bagoong? Bagoong Balayan? Galing ata ng Batangas. Bagoong na Padas? La Union? O bagoong na Munamon galing sa Pangasinan? Yung resulta nun magiging credible kasi merong comparison. These are real products. Pero kung lalaruin nila yung politika, kamukha nung nangyari. So, Mr. Chair, the question is, will you not look into possibility of not letting the surveys kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung politika. Sa produkto na lang, okay. Sa services, hindi magagaling na services ng ating mga companies. Pero kasi napaglalaruan nila eh. Knowing that yung pagsasurvey, sapagkat ito, alam ko dito, pinagkukunan ng mga funders Yung, alam mo na, yung maraming pandas. Right or wrong, they will have to base their judgment kung sino yung gusto nilang tulungan financially. Kung ano yung survey. So kung talagang ikaw ay nasa 22, malamang hindi ka talaga. Masyadong malayo ka na eh. Maring ikaw ang pinakamaganda lalaki. Ay malayo ka eh. Nawawala ngayon yung mindset nandun eh. I think it's high time for the COMELEC to look into this. What do you think, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. Several weeks before the conduct of the election, there was this public pronouncement of then Congressman Marcoleta about the surveys. At yun po yung naging cue ng Commission on Election. We passed a resolution. We created a task force respect, regulation, and regulation enforcement of survey practices and election credibility and transparency. Kinala po namin ang lahat ng mga survey firms. We passed a resolution at sinabi namin we will regulate them. We will not interfere sa kung sino ang mag-commission, kung magkano ang komisyon, etc. But they will have to submit to COMELEC yung lahat ng reports. Alam niyo po, Mr. Chair, naging napaka-successful po yung kahit ilang linggo lang na-establish before the election because practically everybody, sa SWS, Okta Research, and such other survey firms, nag-participate po. At ang sabi nila, tama rin na nandito meron tayong ganito. Because madami rin po kasing nalaman din namin, marami pala po na gumagamit ng pangalan nila in provinces. For example po, SWS, hindi po pala kanila yon. Pero SWS po ang ginagamit. So sabi namin, bakit hindi nyo mapahinto o maireklamo? Kasi po sabi po nila, wala rin kaming lalapitan. At least ngayon, may COMELEC na pwede nang lapitan. So sinimulan na po natin yung task force respect and we're hoping that for the conduct, especially of a major election like 2028, yan po, kaya po namin sila kinalap, pinapunta lahat doon. Mr. Chair, sabi po namin, para ma-prevent yung pag-file ng case sa Supreme Court. Baka kasi sabihin na nagva-violate ang COMELEC ng freedom of speech because may decision na po before eh. Pero this time, wala pong pumunta sa Supreme Court to question our resolution to regulate them because we were able to explain that our purpose is for an equal opportunity for all the candidates. We do not want to interfere doon sa kung sinong magkanong bayad, etc. Bahala sila. But they will have to reveal to us sino ang nag-commission yan, ano ang parameters nyo, ano ang scientific methodologies na ginamit nyo, at sino at saan nyo kinuha yung mga respondents without revealing at least po kung sino yung mga nasa likod. Sapagkat alam po namin, kasi meron talagang mga tumataya sa ganyan, parang marketing arm din. And so, hindi po namin, pero ang kinakailangan, yung nag-subscribe, ma-reveal po sa amin.
Yes, a very good topic, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Chairman George, kasi ako, di naman kami tumakbo ni Senator Sherwin itong last election. It was our midterm for us, no? Nung napapanood ko yung mga television, lalo nang palapit na ng election, naalala ko po yung may survey, yung mga may-ari ng survey or yung mga presidente ng mga survey firms na to, nagsasalita sa TV, ito na, wala nang iba. Mananalo ito, sigurado. Sa survey namin, itong mananalo, siyam na alyansa, 3 lang yung opposition. Yan. Mamaya-maya, pagkatapos ng eleksyon, 5 na lang naiwan sa alyansa at 7 ang nanalo na hindi aligned with the administration. Pero they were confident. Parang mind conditioning ba? Wala ba magawa yung commission dyan sa mga ganyan? Can't you, although it's freedom, I know it's freedom of expression, freedom of speech, but at the same time, it's a bit irresponsible kasi alam naman namin dito kami, mga kandidato kami, maraming lumalapit sa aming survey firm then na kung may konting plus ay pwedeng itaas-taas inyong survey. Can't you not also come out maybe with a ruling na maybe you can accredit certain survey firms? Ako, I only look at Pulse Asia. I'm sorry. Ako, Pulse Asia lang ako. And SWS. With all due respect, kaibigan ko yung iba. Pero napaka-erratic yung kanilang mga survey results. Let's just look at what happened in the last 2025 elections from what they had come out with and what has actually transpired after the elections. And then, parating ng 2028, gano'n na naman ang ating mga kaibigan na survivors, gagawin na naman nila yun. Wala ba magawa ang COMELEC dyan? Kasi tama po si Senator Marcoleta, that is being used as a tool also for soliciting funds or donations to your campaign. Tama ka kasi kung lampas ka ng 15, wala ka nang matatanggap ni piso ni centavo.
Number 22.
Gift certificate lang siguro sa Kentucky Fried Chicken ibibigay sa iyo pakain sa staff mo. Pero yung pag mataas ka, siyempre maraming gusto mag-donate sa iyo, Mr. Chairman. No? That is the point that we try to make. Is there a way to be fair about it? Because you are the election watchdogs, and I don't want that these survey firms will be used for whatever activities to gain, I'd say, to give false information to the public.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. Yung pong pinasa namin na resolution na yon na to regulate them, magandang simula pa. Nobody went to the Supreme Court. Nobody questioned. And everybody went inside that system, and therefore we will now go into institutionalize. Sana rin po talaga yung aming resolution na yon ay masuportahan ng isang piece of legislation. Magkaroon na po ng piece of legislation po. Kasi po otherwise, do sa SWS and Pulse Asia versus COMELEC ay nagkaroon ng desisyon ng Supreme Court kasi nga po may boundary between freedom of expression at saka po yung freedom of speech. Kaya medyo may konting hesitancy ang COMELEC at that time. Pero ngayon po, we pushed for task force spec, and therefore, ngayon po, we will now regulate them from here on.
How far can you regulate them, Mr. Chair?
Only for purposes, Mr. Chair, of we requiring them to submit basic and certain informations.
Will that correct the kind of method that they're using, that in the end it will become a mind-setting exercise? Where does freedom come in?
We are going to, Mr. Chair, we are going to publish lahat ng kanilang mga submissions sa amin. Not necessarily to drive away yung mga itatago sa
Let's
atin.
test the argument at the Supreme Court. Where does freedom come in the survey?
Alam niyo po, they will have to publish, they will have to submit sa amin po yung mga relevant information.
It's the exercise of freedom of the press. So nasaan yung freedom? Kasi nagkakaroon ng mind setting. It's a tool. So walang freedom talaga eh. Minsan sinusundan kahit mali. So if we are about press freedom, dapat hindi ganun ang paraan nila. Sana wala na yung sa politika kasi dito nalalaro nila eh. Walang comparison eh. They will just have to ask people a sample. Ayoko namang puntahan yung kanilang scientific, palaging sinasabi scientific, kahit sabihin mo kanyang 1,200, 2,500 or 3 million ang sample mo based on the universe. Doesn't matter eh. Pareho din eh, sabi niya. But the question remains eh. Number 22 ako consistently. Pagkatapos naging number 6 ako. How can you explain that?
We fully agree that this cannot and should not be used for political purposes.
Kaya nga po sana, ang gusto nating baka isang araw mapag-isipan ninyong mabuti sa COMELEC, let us allow surveys, pero sa mga produkto na lang yan. Pagdating sa politika, wag mo nang pakialaman yan because you are toying around and you are playing with our people. Mahirap yun. I will probably say myself as Exhibit A. Talagang napakasakit nun eh. Alam mo niyo mga kaibigan, mag-uusap-usap kami. Magkakaibigan na kami, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chairman. Pagkatapos naming mag-meeting, pero alam namin kanya, very good material ka for senator, pero alam mo, wala tayong pag-asa, number 22 ko. Mga kaibigan ko na ito eh. Wala naman ako magawa because ang mindset talagang, ilang Marcoleta ang maapektuhan nun. So, gusto ko sana, Mr. Chair, aralin din natin kung paano natin may sasakatuparan yung pagkuha ng... hindi ko alam kung bakit kailangan kunin natin ang perception ng tao before election. Siguro 3 months before the election, wag na, bawal na. Kasi nga magkakaroon ng mindsetting. Gagawa na sila ng paraan. Nandun kasi yung kita na eh. This is a multi-billion industry. Alam natin kung sino yung funders. Hindi nila gagawin yun nang wala silang kikita. Alam din nila, kapag nalagay ka sa first 6, halimbawa, sa survey, pipilahan ka na ng mga funders. Itong mga survey firms na to, alam nila ito. So para maiwasan po natin yun, at magkaroon naman ng equal opportunity po yung most deserving candidates, bawalan na natin sila. Siguro, I don't know, we can start with 3 months before the actual election, wag na. Tapos na kayo, pinagbigyan na namin. Ang crucial po kasi dyan, habang dumarating yung election, nandun po yung ano eh. Tama si Senator Subiri. Huwag nila sasabi, ginagamit lang. Hindi po, nasa radyo sila. Sila po yung nagsasabi. At nasa mga magazine, nasa newspapers. Kapag hindi ka SWS at hindi ka Pulse Asia, at gumawa ka ng sarili mo, hindi ka pa... But Pulse Asia and SWS, parang institusyon eh. Para bang kung ano yung pinrint nila, that is already the gospel truth. Mr. Chair, this is an undertaking na sana ay makita din ninyo.
Definitely, Mr. Chair, we will definitely consider that po. Kung kinakailangan enhance namin yung aming pong present regulation, we will do that. Pag-aaralan na rin po namin yung 3 months before the election. That is a very good suggestion. But we will likewise provide the committee yung pong aming resolution so that we can provide the Office of the Good Senator, Mr. Chair, para po matulungan din kami. Maybe we can come up also with a piece of legislation para po hindi lang po COMELEC regulation, kung hindi may batas din to strengthen. Kasi po kung COMELEC regulation lang, sasabihin nila, usurpation of legislative prerogative. At least po kung may batas, then we will implement yung pong dalawang yon, pag napastrengthen natin, we will now put an end to this practice of influencing voters.
Mr. Chairman. Yes, naalala ko si Senator Gordon was very active on that, remember? Si Senator Gordon was very active on that. Unfortunately for him, nung inawan niya yung survey firm, di na siya pumasok sa Magic 12 sa lahat ng survey. Hindi ko alam kung ayan ay common ground ng mga survey firm na gawin yun. Pero ang akin lang po, Chairman, kasi tama yung sinabi din Senator Marcoleta. I recalled this last election, 1 week before elections, sila naging spokesperson na. Iniimbita sila sa mga news outlets at social media post na sila na mismo kumakampanya na. Ito na, wala nang iba na mananalo. It looks like 90% of the winning candidates of the next week's elections will be coming from this group. Hindi na maganda po yun, Mr. Chairman. Kasi maganda lang kung sabihin nila, ito yung facts, ito yung numero namin, kaya na bahala mag-interpret. Pero ito yung lumalabas sa aming survey firm. Pero kung sila na mismo nagsasabi, and you can check all the news items, who are being interviewed, who are frequently being interviewed, saying that ito na, wala nang iba, ito nang mananalo. Tapos na iba nga.
And it will greatly weaken your resolve as a candidate.
Yes, it will frustrate the candidate, Mr. Chairman. And sayang naman, no, imbis na last stretch na, mangangampanya ka ng mas talagang magpupursige ka at mangangampanya kang 24/7, house to house nga, ika nga, hindi ka na mangangampanya kasi nakalagay doon sa survey, number 20 ka, wala ka na. Parang nawala ka na ng gana.
Pero,
yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, masaya kami ngayon. Masaya kami ni Senator Migs, Senator Sherwin. Sa nangyari sa 2025, naniniwala kami, wala na naniniwala sa surveys. Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Thank you, sir, for...
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Salamat.
Senator Marcoleta, buti nga kayo, 22 lang. Ako, nung nag-umpisa ako, rank 42. 42, nung 2016.
Umpisa ka lang, 42. Kaya lang, nung tumas ka na ng 15 hanggang sumabot ka sa 8, nakita ko eh.
Oo.
Ako talaga consistently number 22. Yun ang talagang masakit na ginawa nila
Eh, dinala ka naman ng bukid nun, kaya panalo.
Ayun, yun ang sinasabi ko.
Oh, number 3 ka doon.
Pero, Chairman George, ako I have a different take, no? Ako I am a firm believer of surveys, pero na-notice ko maraming lumalabas na fly-by-night surveys. Lumalabas lang sila kung malapit na yung eleksyon. Lumalabas sila na kung may mga local election, national elections. Ang problem is we don't know the methodology. Lalo na yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan dahil very technical eh. Sasabihin nila survey so and so, papakita sa constituents, maniniwala yung constituents, even local may ganyan. So that's another angle that COMELEC should look at because yung mga credible like Pulse Asia, SWS, at least alam mo yung methodology pero maraming lumalabas na fly-by-night every elections.
Yun po
Negosyo
yung
yan eh.
maganda, Mr. Chair, doon sa sinimula namin, ditong nakarang election lang, sapagkat kaya po natuwa yung mga server firms. At least mapapublish na kung sino yung accredited. We will now accredit them. Mapapublish kung sino accredited, mapapublish yung lahat ng mga officials nila, lahat ng kanilang methodologies, etc., etc. Therefore, those firms na hindi nagpa-accredit, isa lang ang ibig sabihin, fly-by-night po yan. Ngayon, kung paano po namin hahabulin, yung mga ganun po, ang problem po, mukhang kakailanganin po, Mr. Chair, ng legislation. Opo.
Well, work together on that. Tinitignan ko lang ho sa internet, Chairman George, meron silang tinatawag na Senator Zubiri na election silence in other countries, no? In which, for example, sa countries like Malaysia, Bulgaria, Canada, 2 days before election, bawal mag-publish ng surveys. Ang pinakamahaba sa Taiwan, 10 days before elections, bawal na mag-publish. It's really what Senator Marcoleta was saying, mind conditioning eh.
Tama po.
Oo.
Tama po, Mr. Chair. Can I add more context?
Go ahead,
Ah,
Commissioner.
yung kailangan po namin sa legislation, dun sa freedom of expression or freedom of speech, meron pong dalawang aawat sa atin. Yung pong prior restraint na dala-dala ng karapatan na yun. At saka yung fear ng punishment afterwards. Kasi naglagay po kami ng resolution na sinasabi 3 months before election, bawal na kayo. They can go up to the Supreme Court and ask for the protection of their rights to expression. But although we all know na yung rights na provided ng Bill of Rights hindi naman absolute, pero nandun po yon and we have reached jurisprudence on that. Tama po ang premise ng komisyon through the Honorable Chairman na pag ginamit mo na election propaganda ang survey, iba na yon. Pag ginamit mo na pagkikitaan or to favor somebody, iba na yon. Kaya po nung ginawa po namin yon, although meron silang mga threat ng pagdidemanda at the onset, ang nahingi namin, i-reveal nila kung sino ang nagpa-commission ng survey, kailan ginawa, at saka po ano ang results. And then the COMELEC will publish it do sa website namin para siya legit. That's about the only thing we can do then. Kasi po ang rights na involved, public to know. Yung nag-commission po, tsaka po yung survey firm. Siguro po, malaki po maitutulong kung magkakaroon po tayo ng legislation specific on the matter para po it can amend yun pong general law as like the Bill of Rights. Salamat po.
Yeah, Commissioner, as a suggestion, I think yung meron na talagang examples in other countries who practice, they call it, nakita ko sa internet, election silence, no? So the purpose of that is mind conditioning, no? So may we request from COMELEC to study that. I'm sure meron silang evidence that it's really conditioning the mind, no? Which is in a way is
Undue influence.
parang undue influence, or it's really skewing our democracy in a sense, because pinapapunta mo yung tao doon sa mga kandidato na lumalabas mukhang malakas pero hindi naman totoo dahil yung survey niya ay hindi naman credible. No, so look at two angles lang from to COMELEC. Number one, yung mga fly-by-night survey companies that come up during election. And number two, yung sinasabi ni Senator Marcoleta, yung potential mind conditioning because we don't want to skew our democracy. We're paying so much for election. No, what we want is a fair and an election process that reflects the true aspirations of our people. No?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are going to study yung just in case, Philippine election silence law. We will be drafting a bill. We will be forwarding it to the majority floor and chairman of this committee, hopefully to be able to sponsor such a bill without violating yung constitutional rights of free expression, yung tinatawag na prior restraint. Because tama po naman, matagal na at madami na nagrereklamo. Pero yung pong ginawa namin, that can be enhanced if there is a law. And that can be enhanced further kung may adapt po natin yung Philippine election silence law na yan kung sakasakali. Thank you very much. Mr.
Thank you.
Chair.
Chairman George, I have some questions on the budget now, so we can discuss this further, and if needed, we can augment the budget. I'll go to one topic that is very sensitive to us, ni Senator Zubiri. Ito yung on the topic of People's Initiative. No? Alam naman natin, one day na lang nung nagising kami dito, mayroon na palang threat of People's Initiative, and that threat was the threat was going to potentially abolish the Senate. Yeah. Go ahead. Working lunch tayo, guys. No, so yun ang one of the surprises that happened a few years back, no. So for the record, no, meron pa bang budget for People's Initiative this coming 2026? And is there any budget in the past, no, na pwedeng gamitin for People's Initiative?
For the record, Mr. Chair, sa present budget as contained in the NEP and as contained likewise in our request, wala po tayong budget whatsoever for any People's Initiative. In the past, napaghinalaan po yung 12 billion pesos na pinasok sa amin, pero we would stand firm na yung pong 12 billion yung pong tinanggal sa amin. And that's why po ngayon, lahat po yan ay unti na po namin nagastos sapagkat ginamit pa nga po namin yung portion doon para sa ating Bangsamoro parliamentary election. Ganun na wala pong binigay sa amin na budget para sa Bangsamoro parliamentary election separate from the national and local elections. So no, we do not have any budget for any People's Initiative proposed or approved. And number two, we do not have yet the rules on any People's Initiative because we suspended the rules because we honestly believe that there are certain problems and procedural defects, due process issues at that, doon sa present rules natin sa ating pong People's Initiative rules.
In 2024, nakapaglagay ng, I'm looking at the JA 2024, there was a 14 billion account or line item called Conduct and Supervision of Elections, Referenda, Recall Votes, and Plebiscites. Ito bang 14 billion, nagastos ba siya? Is it continuing? Ano na naging outcome nitong 14 billion?
Kung balance as of August 31 ay 6 billion 854 pero lahat po yan ay ongoing na po yung mga procurement, Mr. Chair. Like for example, for your information, Mr. Chair, we isa po sa talagang pinlano namin, hiningi namin noon sa Kongreso, sa executive yung pong ABIS, Automated Biometrics Identification. Pag po nagpaparegister tayo, Mr. Chair, 4 fingerprints ang ginagamit natin. Wala na pong ganun sa buong mundo. Ngayon po, ABIS na. Facial, iris, 10 fingerprints. Para palitan po yung antiquated natin na AFIS na 2003 pa. Yung po ongoing na po yung aming procurement doon. That's 2 billion pesos. So more or less po yung natitira po namin na balanse ay meron na rin po ng pinaglaanan sa kasalukuyan, lalo-lalo na po sa Bangsamoro parliamentary elections.
Itong out of the 14 billion, 6 billion yung natitira, and then meron ng mga plano para
Ay,
saan
meron na po.
pupunta yung 6 billion? One of which is the Bangsamoro elections.
Yes po, Mr. Chair, that's 2.7 billion plus 2 billion pa yung ABIS. And then of course, yung pong ginagamit namin ngayon dahil po, Mr. Chair, zero po yung aming voters education for 2026. Yan po yung mga gagamitin namin. Kung ano yung mga tinanggal po sa amin, yun po yung aming plano na paggamitan po, lalo na po noong 2024.
Alright. And then to conduct let's say, a theoretical people's initiative, you will need approximately 12 billion, more or less.
It's more or less, dahil po para tayong barangay and SK,
Parang barangay.
it's more or less 19 billion,
19
Mr. Chair.
billion. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. And I'll transition to the Bangsamoro elections because tinitignan ko yung budget niyo for this year. Wala siyang naka-allocate, no? Walang amounts for Bangsamoro elections. So that's my next question. Saan kukuha ng amounts for Bangsamoro elections?
Dahil po, Mr. Chair, nung na-reset yung Bangsamoro election na dapat po kasabay ng national and local elections. Kaya po, walang gastos na dagdag. Nakaride lang po siya doon po sa national and local election ng 2025. Pero dahil po, Mr. Chair, bigla po siyang nireset sa October 13, as correctly pointed out by the majority floor leader, kinakailangan po namin humingi ng dagdag sa wala na pong paraan sa GAA. We went to the executive, the DBM, humingi po kami at ang sabi po sa amin, total, may balanse pa kayo doon sa nabigay sa inyo na 12 billion, junior na lang kuhanin, yung 2.7 billion. So, hindi po kami binigyan ng DBM but doon po namin kinuha doon sa natitira pa at that time na budget para lang po ma-finance po namin, mabudgetan ang Bangsamoro parliamentary election.
Narinig ko, Mr. Chairman, yung 2.7 was carved out of that 14 billion.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
So ang cost ng Bangsamoro election is only 2.7.
Yes po, because we only have more or less 2.3 million registered voters po sa Bangsamoro.
Okay. And then just to put on record, covered na yan. Meron na tayong budget yan.
Yes po, automated po ang ating Bangsamoro parliamentary election.
Okay. And then ito na tanong na ni Senator Erwin kanina, but I want to get more details and put it on record, of course, no. The BSKE for next year. For 2025, we've allocated 11.6 billion, no? And I heard earlier na dahil nga na-late na yung pag-postponement na gasto, bumili na kayo ng papel, meron ng preparatory work, ang natitira na lang is about 9.5 billion.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and the amount needed for BSKE for next year is 19, tama ba?
Yes po, kung depende po, Mr. Chair, sa mga options. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if we are going, given in all the options, we will create 10,000 new precincts.
Yes.
Given in all the options, we will hire additional 30,000 electoral board members. But doon po sa mga options na binigay namin, if it is 4.61 billion, wala pong support staff, wala rin pong additional honoraria. If it is 5.9 billion, meron pong support staff, pero wala pong additional honoraria. If it is 7.46 billion, ay meron pong additional honoraria, pero wala naman pong support staff. But if it is 8.79 billion, meron po siyang support staff bawat isang presinto. So, meaning 221,000 precincts, magkakaroon ng isang support staff bawat isa. At pagkatapos po, with additional honoraria of 2,000 pesos, hindi lamang doon sa 10,000 po na mga bagong presinto, kung hindi po sa kabuuan ng lahat. So, if we have 210,000 precincts, 221,000 precincts nationwide times 3 plus yung support staff na 210, more or less 1 million po na mga support staff plus electoral board members ang bibigyan natin ng additional 2,000 pesos across the board.
Yeah, because we're factoring 1 million more voters, no, next year.
1.4, Mr. Chair.
1.4 million voters. Because of that 1.4 million voters, we need additional 10,000 precincts.
All in all po, additional voters will be 4 million. 2.8 po ngayon, yung pong August 1 to 10. At pagkatapos, magkakaroon po tayo ng mga 1.4. So you will have more or less 4 to 4.2 million additional voters. So sa kasalukuyan po, meron tayong 68,491,000 nga 435,965 botante. Kung i-add po natin ng 4 million, meron po tayong 72 to 73 million na botante plus, Mr. Chair, 25 million na SK.
So kailangan natin ng 10,000 additional precincts.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So itong sa slide, Mr. Chairman, Chairman George, so ang kakailanganan natin is a low of 4.6 billion to a high of 8.7 billion.
Yes, Mr.
Correct.
Chair.
Pag hindi na-allocate, ito lang for discussion and record purposes, pag hindi nag-allocate yan, magkakaroon tayo ng problema sa BSKE. Meaning wala tayong less 10,000 precincts. Tama, yung precincts ang importante eh.
Yes po, yun ang
Yun
pinaka-importante,
ang
Mr. Chair.
pinaka-importante. So if we don't have additional 10,000 precincts, wala
We're going to
magbobotohan.
cluster po. We are going to cluster precincts. Halimbawa po, 2-3 presinto. Yun po ang naging reason kung bakit sobrang
haba.
dami at haba ng
Yeah.
botante nung nakarang eleksyon.
Correct.
Ang nabigay po sa aming budget lang ay good for 800 to 1,000 voters. Samantalang ang sinasabi po namin, noon as executive, dapat po 700 man lang na botante lang per precinct. Pero napilitan po kami mag-cluster.
Kasi
ng mga
since
precinct.
manual to is one precinct is 250,
One precinct is 400 to 600 po.
400.
To 600 po.
Oo. Pag hindi natin nabigay yung 10,000 additional, aabot ng 1,000 yan, more or less.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
And that's what we don't want, no? Kasi
Yes po.
manual to eh.
Presently po, we have 210,000 precincts.
Yeah, manual to. So I assume mas matagal ang bilangan nito.
Ay, opo, kasi po, pag binilang niyo po yung isang balota para sa barangay, sunod na balota yung sa SK.
Oo.
So,
Tsaka
dalawa
tulad
po ng
to,
dalawa.
hindi circle eh. No?
Pinakamahirap po yung sulat kasi you have to interpret the handwriting.
Yeah.
Minsan po, hindi doon nakasulat sa exact place. Minsan po, hindi mo talaga mabasa yung sulat. And minsan po naman, ino-object pa ng mga nasa likod ng teacher.
Correct.
Sulat,
Sulat eh, kasi
Opo.
BSKE.
numbering.
Di-
Ay, hindi ba pwede mas madaling numbering kaysa sulat? Kasi tama po kayo, Chairman, how will they interpret the writing, no? Baka pwedeng kung yung candidate is number 1 to 10, di number 8, pasok, number 4, pasok, 4 lang, fine. I don't know, it's just a suggestion.
Atin po kasing batas para sa barangay and SK, hanggang ngayon, number 1 po, manual. Number 2, dapat written po yung kanila pong susulat. Kaya nga po talagang sana bago po dumating, Mr. Chair, ang November 2025, baka po sakali magkaroon ng automated BSKE. Alam niyo po kung automated BSKE, we already pilot tested automated BSKE in 2023 in Dasmariñas, Cavite, 3 precincts and 2 precincts po dyan po sa Quezon City. Alam niyo po, in just a matter of 30 minutes, we were able to proclaim the barangay chairman. Yes,
Mahal lang siya. Mas mahal lang siya. Yeah. So Chairman George, so we'll work with you on the additional 10,000. Yun ang key eh, 10,000 precincts eh. So we'll work with you on that one. At least may range na kami depending on how much we can carve out from the budget, from the proposal. I'll go to another topic. Ito naman NLE, National Local Elections. And I saw in your budget that in 2020, first of all, we recognize the presence of Senator J. Versito. There is a preparatory national local election amounting to 2.6 billion pesos, no, for next year. And kanina nakita ko sa presentation ninyo that you are advocating a 2-year preparatory cycle rather than a 1-year preparatory cycle. Just like the ASEAN kanina, I support early preparation. I always believe in that. The earlier we prepare, the better we are in terms of executing the election. And also itong ASEAN, mahirap mag-cram eh. No? Pag nag-cram tayo, mas magastos, many mistakes, at the credibility will suffer. No? So I support that. But for the 2028 elections, how much do we need for the 2028 NLE?
So, Chair, preparatory, we'll be needing more or less 23 to 24 billion. And then for the conduct of the election in 2028, we'll be needing more or less about 16 to 17 billion. All in all, preparatory and the conduct of the election 2028, 42 billion. For 2025 elections, our preparatory and 2025 NLE, it cost us almost 37 billion.
Okay.
So kung magkakaroon po tayo ng dagdag ng mga botante, etc., additional 5 billion, so more or less 42 billion by 2028 national and local election. And to think, Mr. Chair, that it's a presidential and vice presidential election po.
Oo. So 2010 ito sa records ko, 2028 is 38 billion, no? 38 billion.
Yeah,
Sorry,
hindi po.
2025.
2025. Yes po, Mr. Chair.
37 billion. And then for 2028, we're talking about 42 billion.
42 billion,
Of
Mr. Chair.
which 23 or 24 will be appropriated 2 years earlier. No? Tama ba?
Yes po sana, Mr. Chair. But the problem nga po, Mr. Chair, is because the executive did not allow us to have this 2-year preparation kasi po na-reduce na lang sa 2.29
Yes.
billion yung naibigay po sa amin sa preparation. The most na mabibili po namin doon sa 2020 next year sa 2.3 billion more or less ay election management system at saka po yung transmission. But not yet the machines. Yung pong machines natin, it cost us during the last election, yung machine per se lang po, 15 billion.
Hmm.
And so wala pa po yun para sa next year. By next year, we will convert it, we will call it the research and development year. We created already a group for the research, and we are going to prepare already the terms of reference, all the contracts necessary. We are going to conduct the procurement process immediately after the passage of the NEP by next year so that we can proceed already with the procurement short of award. Para po kahit paano, matapos lang namin. Usually po, Mr. Chair, yung lahat ng yung ginagawa a year before eh. Pero this time gagawin namin 2 years before the 2028 election.
Okay. Can you submit to us, Chairman, ano yung 42, kung 42 billion ang target, no, for 2028, what are the preparatory works behind it in detail, and how much does it cost?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So we will be guided, for example, 2026, ano yung preparatory work, 2027, ano yung preparatory work, and then you have the 2 billion that is allocated next year versus kung ano yung tingin nyo dapat. I know that you requested for 4 billion sana, no, for preparatory work, but only half
Yeah.
was given. So yung requested versus given,
Given, yes.
and then ano yung mga activities so we can follow it. No?
We will submit immediately, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.